Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome to this early look at gameplay for Planet Zoo 2. As always, a huge thank you to Frontier for getting this stuff to me early so I can get a video ready. I was honoured to be invited to an early look preview of the gameplay a little while ago, so I'll be giving my thoughts on that alongside what we got to see today as part of the PC gaming show. Firstly, the animals look incredible. Frontier have consistently excelled in this department, and with Planet Zoo 2, they aren't letting their foot off the pedal. We've seen incredibly detailed remasters of some of the first game's animals. Just look at the incredible skin detail on the elephant here, and the improved fur. We also recently saw grey wolves as part of the Wholesome Direct showcase, and honestly they look like the timber wolves from Planet Zoo 1 got sober. But it isn't just the fur shaders being improved. Both animations and animal logic have had a huge upgrade. Animals now interact with each other and their environment much more. We've seen herding mechanics.
They do move in herds.
And more developed interactions between adults and their young. We've also seen animals interact with their environment a lot more too. Look how the bull wakes the wolf cub here, it's so cute. And whilst I can't find any footage of it to show you now, we were shown how animals interact with scenery items that you place down yourself outside of enrichment items, such as this big stretch happening on a player-based log as well as the scratching post. Layered animations now add an additional level of realism too. At a glance, you'll be able to see if there are issues with an animal without having to open their menu, as their shoulders will sag and their mouth will droop, all while still pottering around and eating, climbing, or swimming. It also allows arboreal animals to sleep, eat, and socialise whilst climbing, meaning they don't just use climbing structures to get from A to B now, they actually instead use them as structures for daily life. This was one of my biggest pet peeves in the first game, so I'm very happy to see this addressed. From terra firma to the big drink, water has had a huge upgrade. The reflections, refractions, and caustics all have been massively improved. This is some of the best looking water in video games, honestly, and with the addition of aquariums, it makes sense. Aquarium animals are split into two categories. There are hero animals and shoaling animals. Hero animals are fully developed animals that act in a similar way to the mammals, with wants and needs, such as the hawksbill turtle or the impressive sunfish. And then schooling animals or shoaling animals will still require care and attention, but will move and function as a group rather than individual units. I think this is a good workaround personally. I know it was a point of contention in the first game with Frontier wanting every animal to be its own entity, and that's why we never saw some animals and only a handful of others, such as butterflies, later in the game's lifespan. But personally, the needs and requirements of a sardine are going to be, to all intents and purposes, the needs and requirements of every sardine. And I imagine trying to animate them all to move together would be incredibly taxing on development and on end users' PCs. So this change makes sense to me, and I'm hoping with the new addition of some animals not requiring complete individual rendering and the new netting system, we'll be seeing some exciting versions of things like butterfly houses. And oh boy, this netting system is really special. You draw the exterior fence like a regular habitat, then you place down poles within the habitat. You can select where they sit, how high they go, and even angle them if you wish. Then, with the click of a button, netting is procedurally generated. You can even select the amount of sag in the netting. I'm no game developer, but to me this seems like a bit of a technical marvel. Building, which let's be honest is where I'm going to be spending most of my time, has also had a jump forward. From what I can tell, it's putting it much more in line with Planet Coaster 2. The pathing system, one of the biggest issues of the first game, in my humble opinion, is now in line with Planet Coaster 2's powerful tool with the ability to draw large plazas, stamp areas of path, and in what seems like to be an improvement over the Planet Coaster 2 system, select textures and colours for individual parts of the path, with the curb being a separate entity. The piece-by-piece building tool gets scaling in addition to movement and rotation. It may seem like a small addition, but Planet Coaster 2 players will tell you that honestly it's a game changer, making every single piece in the game just that much more usable. We'll be able to show off our building skills in part with fully modular interiors for staff buildings, such as research centres and veterinary clinics. They've also made a much requested change, allowing some of these buildings to be guest facing. In the original game, all of the staff buildings had like a negative impact radius on guest opinion, which is fine for things like electrical stations or staff lounges, but modern zoos very often put the behind the scenes welfare of the animals on show as part of a focus on improving guest knowledge. So this small change will allow us to build some super realistic educational areas, something that I am very excited about. And overall, I am very excited for Planet Zoo 2. I very much enjoyed my time in the first game, which only really stopped due to life circumstances changing and me stepping away from games and YouTube for a little while. The divorce will knock out any creativity you have. But now I'm in a great place in real life and on YouTube, and I'm excited to dive back in and perhaps be able to imagine some of the ideas I never got to fully explore in the first game. Saying all of that, I do have a few issues and unanswered questions. We still haven't really seen anything from exhibit animals, the smaller lizards, bugs and snakes that don't really warrant or require a full custom habitat. I feel like the exhibit system in the first game was fine, but I was really hoping it would get some upgrades similar to all the other systems have, and the lack of coverage so far suggests to me that maybe it hasn't. I don't really want for much, some different sizes and shapes of exhibits, along with the ability to decorate them a little bit more modularly, would suffice for me personally, and I would love to see aquarium style exhibits too for smaller schools of fish, reef fish, small crabs, etc. All of the things that would get utterly lost or become lunch in a much larger multi-species tank. Which brings me on to my other main issue. Everything is still huge. The aquarium tank shown in the trailer would be one of the largest in the world, and whilst walk-through aviaries are fantastic, you're probably not going to find one with bald eagles. Most birds often have smaller caged habitats, especially as a lot of the time the animals are there for rehabilitation or they're there due to injuries and they are unable to fly well. I'm hoping for both aviaries and aquariums. Whilst we are able to build these majestic centerpieces for the big ticky animals, we're also going to be able to build more realistically sized habitat spaces for the other species too. I'm also a little concerned about the aquariums requiring an airlock for staff to enter them. I think an airlock like this works fine for a goofier game like 2 Point Museum, but I would much rather have seen platforms with stairs or ladders up to them for the staff in Planet Zoo. When mentioning this to people, I've had it pointed out that there are poo vacuums in the game, and well, yeah, I hate those too. I'd much rather see a small animation of a staff member using a dustpan and brush, but in the grand scheme of things, these are fairly small issues, and I'm well aware that as part of the more realistic or implied realistic crowd, I'm a part of a small but noisy minority. And at the end of the day, it's a game. If every aquarium tank required a platform and stair system for staff, more casual players may get frustrated. So yeah, I'm all in on Planet Zoo 2, and I'll be diving in on the channel in October. If you're really into the animal side of things, I would suggest going to check out Leaf, as I'm sure he has a great video out today showcasing everything we've seen so far in great detail. I also want to give a shout out to Simply Savannah. She's an actual zookeeper in real life and brings all of that knowledge to her builds, so I'm very excited to see what she does in the game too. I actually messaged her about Planet Zoo 2's announcement, and she told me she was super excited, but a little busy dealing with baby penguins, and then she sent me this photo. How adorable. So expect some coverage on the game here as they show off new stuff. If you're not already, go ahead and subscribe, hype, like, all of that stuff. I'll see you next time. Love you all to bits. Until the next one, be good.